a few questions that I have to go over with you. Do you understand the nature of this charge that as it's been reaccused against you?
I do.
And you heard the rights that you would waive by going forward with this plea. Do you still wish to waive those rights?
Yes.
And are you pleading guilty today because you agree that there is a factual basis as outlined by the state to support this guilty plea?
I do.
Mr. Hogue, are you satisfied your client is competent and that this plea is understanding, voluntary, and that there is a sufficient factual basis to support it?
I am, Your Honor.
Ms. Ellis, do you have a weapons carry license of any kind in this state or any other?
I do not.
Well, I find that there is a sufficient factual basis for the charges, and I find that this plea of guilty is knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered. Ms. Ellis, you've asked to be sentenced under the First Offender Act, which is a request that I will approve, and I'll withhold adjudication. But I do have to notify you that you can't withdraw your plea simply because you don't abide by the terms of the sentence. And the terms of the sentence would be as negotiated and agreed to by both parties. On the sole count of aiding and abetting false statements and writings, the sentence would be 5 years probation. You're to pay a $5,000 fine to the Georgia Secretary of State's office within 30 days of the entry of the final disposition in this case. You're to complete 100 hours of community service. You are to cooperate with the state and testify truthfully in any further legal proceedings in this case. And you're not to have any contact, either personally or through other agents, with the media or any co-defendants or witnesses, I believe, in this case, as was outlined. We will include the language that is sent to us subsequently from Ms. Young, of course, with Mr. Hogue attached on that email to make sure that it is the exact language as agreed to by both parties. As requested by counsel as a first offender sentence, this would be automatically sealed upon entry, and there'll be a behavioral incentive date of 3 years as well. I've been provided a motion to null pros the counts on the underlying indictment in 23 SC 188947, and I'm signing that now. Is there anything else from the state that you believe we need to have on the record in this case?
Judge, and if I misspoke, I said it should be a $5,000 restitution because the max fine is only $1,000.
Excuse me, that's right.
I may have misspoke.
No, that was my mistake. So it is a $5,000 restitution. I didn't hear a fine.
There is no fine, Judge.
Okay, understood. Anything else I need to clarify or may have? Obviously, we will, as I mentioned, go off the language that were provided subsequent to this hearing. Anything else from the state, though?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Hogue, anything else we should have on the record? Take your time.
1 minute, Your Honor, please. It's our understanding there won't be any travel restrictions as a part of her probation. I want to just make that clear for the record that there's no misunderstanding or dispute about that. She lives out of state.
No, understood. This is sometimes a challenge with out-of-state residents that we have to have things transition and be moved to the out-of-state probation office, and they have to accept it as well. And so whatever we can do to facilitate that process, I would like to do. That may mean that if she has a flight today, I don't know if that's going to be possible. But if I could check in with probation, maybe we can get some insight on predictions of what we can do to get this case transferred to Colorado, I believe you said it was.
No, she lives in Florida.
In Florida, okay.
And we do have flights booked this afternoon.
Okay, let's see what we can do.
So we basically would need a police report or affidavit as we spoke. I would just need to take information from her, a picture and $100 money order, and then we can kind of get the process started. But until Florida states that they can accept her case, she has to stay within Georgia. So if we have everything we need, we can possibly have her report today at 2. But if we don't have the indictment, the affidavit, she might have to stay.
All right. And when you say, we'll sort through this, Mr. Hogue. When you say after she reports at 2 o'clock today, potentially, how does that affect the process?
So they're going to try to get it started with Florida. And then if Florida states that we have everything and they can take it, she possibly can go back to Florida today. But if we don't have everything that we need and Florida doesn't state that they can take her, then she would have to stay until they give us the go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Hoag, what time's that flight?
It's at 1:55 PM, Your Honor. I'd like to ask the court to exercise its authority and allow her to travel today. She's been on bond this entire time. Hasn't been that long, but she's abided by all the conditions. Whenever and wherever. We had thought perhaps we would have this done yesterday. Problem that it is now.
Okay. And any thoughts from the state on including some kind of language, allowing some flexibility here on making sure the probation paperwork is in order?
Because we don't have any objection. We'll stand mute on it and let the court make its decision. Ms. Ellis has complied with everything that the state has asked. Okay.
I certainly am amenable to that. And I agree that I don't think flight from the jurisdiction is an issue here. So we can follow up and see if we can find other examples and exactly what and how that needs to look. But we'll work on that after we conclude here.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else? I already checked in with the state. Last call over to Mr. Hoag.
We're good. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Good luck, Ms. Ellis. We'll be off the record.
Thank you.
Our worlds revolve around food.
Bacon?
But food impacts our world, too. It's time we count carbons over carbs. Let's choose delicious today and good for tomorrow. Greenfield Natural Meat Co. is proudly carbon neutral, making better food for a better planet. So you can eat this to help save this. It's the low carbon diet from Greenfield Natural Meat Co. Eat deliciously for you and the